deskelly.ie.
Very cold tonight with widespread severe frost and ice on untreated roads. Mostly dry with just a few wintry showers in the northwest and lowest temperatures -2 to -5 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
And you're very welcome along. We have 3 hours ahead and plenty to discuss. I will certainly have one eye on the screen below me to see what's going on at Anfield as Liverpool attempt to go 3 points further clear of Manchester City. They have a massive chance, and we're going to have Mark Lawrenson on after the news round to discuss what might happen at Anfield tonight. It's just a sneaky suspicion that Leicester might cause some problems for Liverpool, but there'll definitely be goals. We have Rory O'Connor and Fiona Steed in. That's going to be at 8 o'clock for the Wednesday night rugby to talk about the big game of the weekend, obviously Ireland and England, and the ladies in action as well, Ireland and England. That's controversially enough at 5 o'clock on Friday, which doesn't give that many people the chance to actually go along to watch it. You heard Leah Varadkar there on the news saying that there's no good Brexit. We're going to actually have a chat with Laura McCallum. She's an expert in sports law, and she's going to discuss some very interesting ramifications for Brexit in a football and sporting sense. And then Andy Mitten is going to be on in the football show, and he's going to talk about as I said to you, Kev, the bubble having burst at Old Trafford. They didn't win last night, Man United, but
it's gone, hasn't it? That's it.
It's all over.
It's all.
Get Solskjaer out. It's rubbish.
The dream's over. Yeah, it's gone.
I just think people are. I think people aren't very rational at times, that they're buying so much into what Solskjaer has done. When I just think it's far too early to have any idea of what he's like as a coach. You'd probably fair judge him on what he did in Norway with Molde.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's had success there, hasn't he? But I wouldn't be judging him at the level that he's at Man United from being at Molde. No, I wouldn't. You'd probably be judging him from his stint, I suppose, at Cardiff, and that didn't go particularly well. So I'm probably in your line of thinking there, Johnny, where it's still a while off before you're actually going to say, yeah, he's got the job. That's the way that I would see it, yeah.
They need to play decent opposition. Like the PSG tie, home and away, is going to be the most accurate barometer of where Solskjaer is as a coach, especially with that Man United squad at the moment.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good point, Richie, because tactically he's going to be tested when they play in Europe, and you know they got such a nice run of games. Obviously they did play Arsenal. They've had a couple of decent teams. They got a lovely run into it after Mourinho was gone.
Yeah, I don't think that result against Arsenal should be underplayed. He actually tactically played that great game brilliantly, the Solskjaer, but it's having a run of consistent top level opposition and having 2 games in a month against Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, that's where your measure of where Solskjaer is will come. They've got Chelsea in the cup as well. That's not going to come easy either. Like, ideally he'll want to win a trophy. You can't see him putting out a second string side for that. So it's going to be a real test for the squad that he has at his disposal, and I don't think he's going to be bringing anybody in before midnight tomorrow night. So it's going to be a real test, and a proper test for him in the next month or so.
How are you keeping?
Grand.
Yeah, the League of Ireland is closing in.
Yeah, what was it, about 3 weeks away? Less than that.
Yeah.
I'm delighted. Bows have actually started signing players. We've got our own Allardyce as well, which is good.
Yeah, guy that you got from Scotland.
Yeah, from Dundee United. I think a mutual mate of ours is putting him up in his digs for a few days.
What's his name?
Allardyce.
Seth Allardyce, is it?
I think it might be Scott.
Scott Allardyce.
Yeah, but
it's not Sam's grandson. Sam's grandson.
No, it's with an I.
Ah, right. Sorry,
It's different spelling. He's coming from Dundee United. Sam Byrne in today as well. So Bows have actually started signing players.
Good, yeah.
Jersey launch on Friday.
Finn Harp's first game of the season, is that right?
Jersey launch. We know Bows and the Jersey launch. Is this one actually going to be a jersey, or is it just going to be a publicity stunt?
I've seen this one, right? I shouldn't have seen this one, but I've seen this one. It's a beaut.
Home jersey?
Yeah.
And who designs it?
It's O'Neill's.
Oh, O'Neill's, yeah.
It's a good one.
Because they had a spell with Hummel, which I love Hummel.
Hummel jerseys were class.
Kevin Kilbane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been in the news for all the wrong reasons this week.
Have I?
Yeah, you know, a 4 out of 10 performance in the football game.
I let the lads have the fun. It was quite embarrassing, actually, the people writing those sort of pieces. They give you a 5, I think, Johnny, as well. You're our best player.
I wasn't our best player. I was very unhappy with
You're
the
5. Up there. You're up there, Johnny. I tell you, Johnny.
That doesn't say much for the team, to be fair.
I think
it was a bit of a shambles. The pitch was a leveler, as I said, and
you being in goal was a leveler. We've actually a clip of you letting in. Just so the listeners at home know, we were coasting through this game. I was on Kev's team,
Dublin
and
team, but
then this happened.
Nothing else.
This looks like Dan just trying to protect the ball.
Yeah, we were just seeing it through.
Trying to kill out the game.
We were just seeing it through at this stage.
Shane, Owen is in. Oh, what a finish!
And the kid who got the goal.
Well, you can tell he doesn't working off the ball with a bit of quality like that.
the kid who, by the way, Nathan's commentary was very entertaining.
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it back. No, he did well. He did well. It was a great finish.
Being honest, Nathan's commentary at times version of being a hate crime.
It did.
A lot of people who could possibly take legal action.
He had to do something actually to redeem himself after his first half performance. So,
as I said in my analysis of the game with Ger, which was very in depth, he has certain Jan Molby qualities about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was with Jan Molby last night.
One thing,
I was with Jan Molby last night, and if Jan Molby had a beard, I could honestly see he's great. He's what a fellow he is. Great.
Jan Molby,
what a man,
lovely baller. Didn't have to move.
What a man.
One of my favourite players of all time.
But he does remind me of Nathan Murphy as well. Somehow he does.
What is it?
If he had a beard, if Jan Molby had a beard, or if Nathan shaved his off, I think we could be looking at, I don't know, father and son or something.
It was bloody grim though. Like it did feel like the over 75s in front of the head, because I was given a boost earlier on the week. The homeless lad called me young man, like as I was walking by.
Pitch was definitely level, wasn't it?
What do you mean pitch was level? You're playing on a gym floor.
Ah, it's terrible. No, it's not good for knees that are kind of on the way.
My back is absolutely killing me today. That's what it is. I've gone through the pain to play in that match.
You were in Newcastle last night though, and that must have been quite interesting. We're going to talk about maybe the Manchester City repercussions and that in the football show, but from a Newcastle perspective, I watched the game and all I could do was think of Rafa Benitez in the sense of what a man he is.
Yeah, I have to say it wasn't a great performance. It wasn't a great game.
Who cares?
It was a bad. Yeah, I'm with you. I was on a flight yesterday. I was on a flight with a lad from Clare, and we were chatting away. And he was a Newcastle fan, and he said he doesn't get over to too many games, and he was really looking forward to it. I think he had a bit of work over there. Lived by Shannon Airport. Had to drive up from literally 10 minutes from Shannon Airport to drive to Dublin and then get the flight in. Wow. So anyone listening, they might get that flight just for him from Shannon into Newcastle again. But no, he was so downbeat about the game. We've got no chance, have we? Let's be fair. We're going to turn up. City will play the way that City play, and that's it. We'll get a hiding, and that was the clear feeling around the game. There was a real negative feeling to it before the match. I'm sure everyone's seen, or many would have seen. There was certain flyers that had been printed. I think 40,000 flyers had been printed in a protest at Mike Ashley. So that was in place as well to start with. Then the game starts, 25 seconds into the game, they're a goal down. And as I said, it wasn't a great performance. All they did is stayed in the game. City were very poor. And then,
wasn't it so clever of Newcastle? They're 1-0 down, but they decided, let's just keep this at 1-0.
Yeah, keep to the game plan.
And they kind of almost sensed that Man City didn't have a great deal of urgency about them to get a second.
Yeah.
I just felt that Benitez, with that squad, what he's doing, and the Rondon's attitude last night.
Yeah, Rondon was brilliant. He worked so hard.
He's real old-fashioned the way he plays.
He had one shot on target in open play in the match. Rondon's one shot scores the goal, and then they get the penalty.
Shocker of a penalty from Fernandinho.
It was shocking, but the body language of City's players, Pep Guardiola on the bench, even after they'd scored, it was just terrible. As soon as Newcastle get the equaliser, and then even the winner, the shouts coming up. Mike Ashley, get out of our club, get out of our club. Anyway, so that was ringing throughout the match. They want Ashley out, and then after the game, 20 minutes after the game, 25 minutes after the game, the song still, the stadium's almost empty. It probably was empty, but down the stairwells, outside the ground, that song is just,
I was just thinking though after the game, how is Benitez in the job of that ilk, where he should have one of the top 5 jobs probably in the world? I mean, maybe it's his style of football.
Top 5 jobs in the world for Benitez at this stage is probably a stretch. But
why?
I would as well, Johnny. He went into Real Madrid, didn't he? And clearly his tactics were never going to work at a club.
Everyone
like Real
failed at Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's true. But I think his tactics were never going to work there.
He's a very pragmatic manager. Yeah, it doesn't work at a club like that.
He's supposed to be very, very harsh on players as well. Unbelievably harsh. So you're going to Ronaldo. Pardon?
They play for him, unless maybe their egos are too great.
Well, I think it's just how he sets them up tactically. They're never open and expansive. They don't concede many goals.
Nobody I think they've got.
Have they got the 6th or the 7th best defensive record in the Premier League? But they've got one of the worst goal-scoring records. They've got the worst home record in the Premier League. You can tell I had a few stats on that last night, Rich, as well. But it was just, they're dreadful at home because they're never going to be able to go and open sides up. And that's maybe the heat that comes on them.
Into their strengths.
Well, yeah, maybe it is. But I think Rondon's got something. And I've said it since he's been at West Brom, wherever he's been Rondon. If you put balls in the area, he'll score. But he's played for Pulis now. Now he's played for Rafa Benitez. He's not going to actually play for a manager that's got, or going to create a glut of chances for him. So he's playing.
He's feeding on scraps.
Yeah, he is.
He is feeding. We should.
And he's a good player. He works unbelievably hard.
Richie's news round will include reference, I think, to the Liverpool team, which has a surprise or two.
The league's over now. The league's over. We don't even need to talk about that now.
Yeah.
Spot the Everton fan.
We're live on stream across the Off the Ball social channels, Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. A couple of comments as well. Lads, no, the one show I'm expecting no Brexit talk on. Well, hang around, because we've an in-depth Brexit chat later on in the show. After the City result last night and the Liverpool game tonight, how are you talking about United? Yeah, that's a fair point, but you know, I still think Man United are probably worth more debate at the moment in a sense of Solskjaer, because I certainly think it's arguable that he's...
I think the biggest story definitely that was last night was City have blown the league and Liverpool will win it now. That's it, isn't it? It's done.
Kev, no matter how much you say this, you're not going to jinx it for Liverpool.
No, I'm not jinxing anything. It's funny. It's funny in the office there before, the Liverpool fans that were in the office.
Phil Egan.
There's a few of them. You're not allowed to out people, Rich. You know they've got to be impartial.
Can I take that back?
Yeah, you've got to take it back.
Press the dump button.
So they're all, oh no, I tell you, this Leicester side, good team. Honestly, they cause problems. Jamie Vardy's got a great record as well against Liverpool. Honestly, I wouldn't be going so big on this one tonight, Liverpool fans. And then you've got the opposite side of it as well.
What's the Liverpool defence tonight, Rich?
As I mentioned, it's going to be something of a makeshift right back. They have it down as Jorginho Wijnaldum playing right back. It could well be Jordan Henderson. Either way, I'll give you the Liverpool team in full. They start with Alisson in goal. It seems then a back four of Jorginho Wijnaldum, Joel Matip, Virgil van Dijk fit again after his illness, and Andrew Robertson. In midfield then, Naby Keita and Jordan Henderson. In front of them, Xherdan Shaqiri, Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane, with Mo Salah leading the line. For Leicester, Kasper Schmeichel starts in goal. Ricardo Pereira, Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire and Ben Chilwell are their back four. They've then got a five of Mark Albrighton, Nampalys Mendy, Wilfred Ndidi, Demarai Gray and James Maddison. And Jamie Vardy leads their line. Vardy has scored 7 of Leicester's last 10 goals against Liverpool, and Klopp has been asked what makes him so special.
His quality, the speed he has, the finishing skills he has, but we made a few times we made it pretty easy for him. I think Lucas Leiva, did he get an assist for that goal? So that I would have scored that goal, but Jamie is a fantastic striker, really, and you can see each fibre of his body is really always on this decisive situation. He always wait for the balls over shoulder. Now he's, I think, is more involved in defending. Meanwhile, than he maybe was in the past, but is. Brings him in another situation, doesn't make it easier to defend him, to be honest. So it's really he's a massive threat, and he was always. But it's not the only one in that team.
There's an argument to be made in the sense that Liverpool have conceded 8 goals in their last 4 games, which includes the almost slightly irrelevant cup game in Wolves. That defensively, I thought defensively against Palace they were very, very poor. In particular, Milner, who isn't playing, obviously was caught out badly by Zaha.
They were susceptible to the counter-attack.
And that's what Leicester are good at.
That was the thing. Leicester are very good at it. I look at the Leicester side there, on the wings it looks like it's going to be Demarai Gray and Albrighton. I'd switch Demarai Gray to the left-hand side straight away and think...
Expose that right back.
Yeah. I mean, Fabinho's on the bench for Liverpool. He is an option. He's played there as well in the past, so he would be an option. It's surprising he's not starting Fabinho tonight, but I think that's what I'd do. If I was Club Pool, I'd just say, Demarai Gray, you get out on the left-hand side and you be our out ball. On the break, find Gray, get us up the pitch, try and get whoever it would be playing right back for Liverpool exposed. But Liverpool should win it still. I mean, I know we take the P with it.
Is it all over, Richie?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
7 points after tonight.
7 points at the end of January.
That's done. It's done, Rich.
No,
it's done.
I don't think Liverpool are playing quite well enough at the moment to say it's over. I think they've kind of stuttered a bit in their last 3 or 4 league games.
And they've got some tough games coming up as well, not least of which is at Old Trafford.
It's done, isn't it?
After suffering back-to-back cup defeats, Tottenham are welcoming in-form Watford to Wembley tonight. Heung-min Son is back in the Tottenham starting 11, which begins with Hugo Lloris in goal. A back four of Serge Aurier, Davinson Sanchez, Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen, and then Daniel Rose, back 5 in fact. Harry Winks and Musa Sissoko midfield for them, then Christian Eriksen, Son and Fernando Llorente. For Watford, Ben Foster starts in goal. Back 4 of Daryl Janmaat, Adrian Mariappa, Craig Cathcart and Jose Holebas. In midfield then Will Hughes, Etienne Capoue, Tom Cleverley and Roberto Pereira, with Gerard Deulofeu in behind Troy Troy Deeney. There's also an 8 o'clock start to that one at Wembley. 4th place Chelsea away to Bournemouth tonight. No Callum Wilson for Bournemouth. Instead, Junior Stanislas will partner Josh King up front for them. Gonzalo Higuain makes a first Premier League start for Chelsea at the Vitality, while Southampton are looking to record a 3rd successive Premier League victory. Crystal Palace are the visitors to St Mary's, and Shane Long is on the bench for Southampton, for whom Danny Ings leads the line, and prospective Republic of Ireland international Nathan Redmond offers support. Wilfred Zaha and Jordan Ayew.
Southampton are where it's at really for Irish potential players at the moment, or Irish potential stars.
Yeah, it would seem so.
Son Heung-min back for Spurs as well.
Big return, yeah.
Actually, totally overlooked that one.
You know, he was playing in the Asian Cup, and they were shown earlier on. I watch Al Jazeera quite a bit because I think it's relatively independent. It gives a lot of world news. But they showed Qatar playing the UAE, which is obviously like
El Gassico.
Can you think of you must think of another one for that?
No, I'd rob that from somewhere else. I can't even claim credit for something appallingly bad.
But you can imagine the possibility and I suppose the contradiction of these extremely wealthy fans, you know, dressed in all the white Middle Eastern garb, but becoming really passionate about like these two kind of almost fake states who've just been kind of round with each other. And there was a lot of heat in the game. And Qatar won 4-0.
Oh, but are they both? Yeah, Qatar are nationalising a lot of people, aren't they?
I had, funnily enough, you mentioned that, I had a route through their squad last week because I saw they were doing quite well, and I wanted to see.
Did not look Qatari.
But I think of that squad, there was one lad that I could find anyway, who was born and bred in Portugal, and has been naturalised. The rest of them were actually all Qataris.
Oh, the Qatar team.
Yeah, they are in the process of getting a lot of young Brazilians and Spaniards and Portuguese like online that they'll be eligible for 2022. But as far as I can make out, the majority of that squad, vast majority, are actually home based. Now, there was question over the eligibility of one of their players. I think today was raised into question that it was thought that he had full Qatari qualification, but in fact, the parent who qualified him might have actually been from Iraq, so there's going to be some issues over that, but I feel we've been sidetracked somewhat.
The keeper for the UAE was just so bad though. I was like, how are you playing at this level? Like, it was worse than your clip there earlier on.
Was it really?
It actually was.
Oh jeez, Johnny.
And he is a goalkeeper.
I was robbed, you know, the ball was just, you know.
Daniel McDonald had a good game.
Dan played well.
Yeah.
We was more than comfortable in the game.
But Brian Kerr was, like, it was so inspirational that Brian Kerr was our coach, because he seeps passion.
Yeah. Well, Shane Hannon was absolutely delighted because he got a mention from Brian as man of the match. And Shane played well. Shane's a good player.
I'll tell you what was behind that. Roddy Collins once trained Shane, because he played for Monaghan's under-19s, and Roddy took charge of him for a few games. So
wow. I can imagine
Shane has been under the Roddy learning tree.
Stepping in from
featuring a documentary,
holding midfielder. You know.
Any more news?
GEA Director General Tom Ryan says the association felt bullied into staging the Liam Miller tribute match at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Writing in his first annual report, Ryan says he's still very uncomfortable with how the game led to being played at the Cork venue. Ryan says the game's organisers weren't putting any pressure to stage the game at the Páirc, but claims others showed blatant disregard towards the governance of the GEA. He's quoted as saying in the report that in hindsight we may have handled matters differently, but I do believe that the GEA was very badly served by much of the comment at the time. It consumed so much time and energy and was not an issue of our making. He adds that the Miller family benefited from the event, so any reservations of his and the association are secondary.
Why does that need to be addressed? Why can't that word bullied have been taken out of that report?
In a subsequent interview, I think he may have tried to smooth over the term bullied, but the fact that made the final report is, my estimation, a lapse of judgment on his part and their part.
There was a lot of emotional blackmail, I suppose, of them at the time. I mean, I thought it was a bit of a mess. I mean, they should have just broken the rules. Kev, you played in the game. Obviously, there was a huge crowd at it.
Massive, exactly. It sold out within hours.
There's demand to help the family.
Yeah,
and that should have been furnished as best as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
And sooner.
It was a great occasion. It was brilliant to go down. It was just great. The game, the night, everything, the dinner we had. It was a fantastic day. It was brilliant. And I just think, I think the GA actually at the end of it came across great. I think, you know, whatever happened, and there was
great PR for them.
A lot of things. It was
great PR, and they didn't need to backtrack on it.
That's why I don't understand it. I don't think there's any need to be putting that type of terminology in a report like that.
Seems silly. Ulster centre Darren Cave says he would be surprised to see Robbie Henshaw playing full back against England. Reports this morning claim the Leinster centre could be handed the number 15 shirt for Ireland's Six Nations opener at the Aviva on Saturday. Henshaw has won all but one of his 36 Celtic's caps in the centre, but is said to have switched position during training this week. With Rob Kearney, Jordan Larmour and Will Addison also in the running for the full-back place, Kev told OTB-AM this morning that he feels there's no need for the move.
Another player who I think's had a great this season, 2018-19 so far, is Conway. We know he's a good fullback as well. Jordan Larmour's obviously played well. It's just, again, I don't know what's been happening in Portugal. I haven't been in touch with any of the lads. I can say that I would be surprised to see Robbie Henshaw named at fullback. I think he's one of the best centres in the Northern Hemisphere, and I am a sort of a little bit of a traditionalist in terms of I think you play where you can your best players in your best positions. I do think, I'm not sure what level Rob's at. I don't think there's such a crisis at fullback that we need to start moving players. As I said, Conway's almost been like a forgotten player because of this, because of how well Larmour's done. I mean, every time I've seen Conway play for Munster, he's been brilliant.
Will either of you watch the game on Saturday?
Ah, yeah, absolutely.
Kev?
What time's kick-off?
4:45.
I'll probably watch the first bit of it. I'm at Cardiff Bournemouth Saturday, 5:30 kick-off. So.
Oh, okay. It's a tricky one for the Dublin Racing Festival because
they
knew that it was going to clash with rugby now and then, and they're trying to sell the Leopardstown experience as watch the game out at Leopardstown. In fairness, the vast majority of people don't have tickets, but town is going to be pretty mad.
Dublin are playing Galway as well. On
Saturday night.
Oh, is that? Oh,
yeah. So I'm hoping to go
Dublin
to that.
will be bouncing on Saturday night.
Well, indeed.
It really will.
Yeah.
So it'll. But it's. I don't know. It's probably one of the most hyped up Six Nations campaigns, just because it's the World Cup year and all that.
Start with England as well, just such a rarity to do. MTK today announced an end to their boycott of Irish media. The boxing management company that looks after the likes of Michael Conlon, Carl Frampton and Paddy Barnes issued a blanket ban on media from the Republic of Ireland last year, with then President Sandra Vaughan citing what she called widespread media propaganda. MTK was previously known as MGM, with heavy involvement at its inception by Daniel Kinahan. Vaughan claimed last year that her appointment saw an end to Kinahan's involvement in February of 2017. But in February of last year, a card at City West featuring 5 MTK fighters was cancelled amid security fears. But new MTK Global President Bob Yalen issued a brief statement today saying that we are a truly global company, but Irish boxing will always remain close to the heart of MTK. So it would be nice to be free to operate there as we do in every other country in the world. And my hope is that the Irish press will support our efforts to do so. Neil Lennon is no longer the manager of Scottish Premiership side Hibernian. The club say the departure of the ex-Celtic boss and his assistant Gary Parker is by mutual consent. Hibs' statement insists the pair have neither been sacked nor resigned. Both Lennon and Parker were suspended last week pending an internal review, but the club say neither Lennon nor Parker have been guilty of any misconduct or wrongdoing. Lennon was appointed as Hibs boss in 2016, leading them to a Scottish Championship title in his first season and leaves them 7th in the top flight.
This was pretty damn bizarre now, that
crazy
statement. I mean, it was like it was something that was a divine intervention that had nothing to do with anyone else. It was just insane.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's ever been that I can remember a manager leaving his post without being sacked or resigning, mutual consent, whatever it would be. It's just crazy. It's crazy, the statement.
The David Wagner departure from Huddersfield was by mutual consent, and they insisted that.
Oh yeah, but no, fairly mutual.
Yeah, that was mutual
as mutual can be.
Mutual, but this is a different one. I think
the statement goes on to say, like, the discussions suggested that all parties agreed it would be better if Neil didn't continue in the role.
Right.
Just on Neil Lynn and Kev, with the Bolton situation not ending great, Bolton was a tricky position, and this obviously has not ended particularly well either.
But Bolton shambles, absolute shambles. Even Phil Parkinson that's in there now at Bolton, he got no credit at all for the job he did last season. They're just an absolute shambles of a place. He did well at Hibs, got them promoted.
He has been doing a good job.
He got them to 5th, I think.
Got them qualified for Europe.
Yeah, to Europe, 4th, 5th. Wait, so he's done great last season. No, he's done a brilliant job. I think his reputation has been enhanced by going to Hibs, without a doubt.
We'll talk about another basket case, Oldham Athletic. Certainly when I was following the Premier League back in the day, they were actually in the top flight, and now they're down in the 4th tier. And they could be appointing a high-profile manager from the area as well, so we'll talk about that later on.
Celtic can open up a 6-point lead at the top of the Scottish Premiership tonight. Brendan Rodgers' side welcoming St Johnstone to Parkhead, but there's a 7:45 start. And Rangers play their rearranged Scottish Cup 4th round tie tonight. Stephen Gerrard's side away to League 2 side Cowdenbeath, with a trip to Kilmarnock awaiting the winners in the next round. And Paris Saint-Germain confirming today that Neymar will be out for 10 weeks. The Brazilian forward will miss both legs of their Champions League last 16 tie with Manchester United with a broken metatarsal. Remember them. PSG will face face United at Old Trafford on February 12th with the second leg of the Parc des Princes on March the 6th. It's reported this evening, meanwhile, that PSG have tried to sign Mesut Ozil on loan from Arsenal as a partial replacement, but the German has rejected such a move. Ian Keighley's spell at Munster has come to an end earlier than expected. The out-half has joined London Irish on a short-term contract. Keighley will play for Declan Kinney's Exiles until the end of this season, at which point he'll move to Italy and Benetton. While some team news ahead of the Six Nations, Cardiff Blues scrum half Thomas Williams will make his Six Nations debut for Wales in Friday night's Six Nations opener with France in Paris. Dragons number 8 Ross Moriarty is selected despite not playing since mid-December due to concussion issues, while Toulouse out-half Roman Ntamack has been given a debut start at inside centre for Friday's game. The selection of France legend Emile Ntamack's son comes at the expense of Matthew Basterot.
I remember Emile Ntamack, actually.
It's not even that long ago.
No, it was like John Moncur's son scored the other night. I remember him very well. Eric Cantona stamping on him one time.
Yeah, Moncur was a hell of a player.
Thank you very much, Richie. Just to remind you that the fixtures tonight: Bournemouth v Chelsea, Southampton v Palace, Liverpool v Leicester, Tottenham v Watford. And just before we go to the break, this Friday we're going to be in Clonmel previewing Cheltenham with a special Bulmers Road to Gold event in the Clonmel Park Hotel. And there'll be comedy from après matches, Barry Murphy, live music from Smash Hits. Vogue Williams will be there too, alongside myself, Ger, David Brady, Nina Carberry and Kate Harrington. Tickets are all gone, but we are giving you the chance to win a pair that are left, and all you have to do is answer this question: where is Jessica Harrington's yard? And of course Jessica is a mother of Kate. What town would you find it in? And it's barely even a town, it's a little village around about the Carlow-Kildare border, so probably not the easiest one to actually get, but text us your name and answer to 53106 and we'll announce the winner before the end of tonight's show. It's the Bulmers Road to Gold event in the Clonmel Park Hotel on Friday 1st.
Off the Ball on Newstalk.
You couldn't make it up. Newstalk's weekly topical panel show where news and comedy collide is recorded in front of a live audience every time.